Like, look at that. That guy literally jumped out of an airplane with a car above him. Like, look at this. He's on the side of this building. They're looking straight up. A helicopter is right next to him. If you think about it, it's kind of dangerous. The dude actually jumped 25,000 feet out of a plane for a movie. Wild.
Had enough, then I want more. Up so high, but then I fall.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're reacting to some BTS. Some of my favorite movies that I've watched recently.
Very first stunt sequence that I designed was our heroes parachuting out of the back of a plane in their cars, and at the very last minute, break their parachute and then rescue this particular character.
I honestly think this could be one of the most ridiculous scenes in any movie out there. They threw out like 6 cars from massive airplanes. Someone thought of this.
Cash! What are you doing?
Did you see that guy? That guy literally just ran and jumped, skydived. Like, if you guys haven't been skydiving before, it is super exhilarating. One of the scariest moments of my life. I definitely enjoyed it overall, but this guy has no fear. Like, full send with a freaking camera on his head.
Wow!
There we go. There's the blue screen with the camera spinning. So obviously they threw the cars out, but they're also cutting in some CGI stuff. I mean, obviously you can't have the actors free falling in cars. So
what they didn't really realize was there were so many factors that are more complicated than probably any other sequence I've shot.
I think everyone, when they heard the idea, thought this is going to be the most complicated sequence we've ever shot.
Well, people have thrown cars out of a C-130 before, so we knew it could be done.
Like, look at that. That car just rolls out. Immediate parachute, but like, they're just throwing cars out of the sky.
Oh my God, look at that. And have helicopters and crew and people down below and be 3 feet away from them and shoot them. And
Like, look at that. That guy literally jumped out of an airplane with a car above him. Like, that dude has no fear. None at all. Like, just seeing that gives me anxiety. Holy crap.
Because when we first sent the cars out with no drogue chute, they're free falling at 175. And so the skydivers could never catch them. They had to be a part of the car when it went out. So he said, you guys grab onto the cars. Just run out with them and grab onto it so that its first initial drop.
Ooh, every time I see that, that's just like, ooh, so scary.
The operators we have are all from the Red Bull jump team.
Bro, look at that camera. On his head. They just rigged up a red with a, looks like a Canon 50mm prime. That is so sick. This dude's literally running and jumping out of a plane with a red on his head. That is dope.
You have to push the car away from you to get the wide shot that we need.
And then James saw what we did, saw what the angles of the car were, and
Like, that shot right there, I'm assuming it's a skydiver. One of the craziest angles I've ever seen, ever.
seamlessly dropped it in.
Woo! Now we're moving.
I worked with my really incredible second unit director.
Honestly, I would love to see how all of this was cut together with the CGI, with the shots of the actors, the actual footage that the camera operators got while jumping out of the airplane, how it looks in the sequence, and how much CGI is put into these shots, because I think there's quite a bit of CGI and a lot of practical stuff. Like, obviously you guys just saw all these camera ops jumping out of airplanes with these cars, so you know there's a lot of real shots. I mean, they could just be using them as plates, but it's just kind of an incredible sequence that I would love to see how it was put together and like the thought process on how to edit something like this would be.
With the camera car 200 yards away and flying in at speed as this car is starting to drop like this and comes around, goes around it, and this car is turning like this, and you come all the way in and you're in on Vin. And it cuts so great with the footage we have.
Yo, look at this. This is how they got the shots with the actors and everything in the rigs. That's sick. This camera car is sick. Like, this is how they filmed it with the actors. They put it on a massive blue screen. They put them on a wild rig holding the car. And then they just drove straight at them.
4 cars, we lost 2 of them because of winds.
the parachute didn't get away from the car. So we're getting a call, you know, hey, this car's not stopping and it's heading towards the freeway.
Yo, that is wild. They lost cars. They threw cars out of a plane and lost them. I mean, whoa.
After these cars come out of the airplane, they land on top of a mountain with one road.
Letty's gonna lead, followed by Ted. As they glide down, they're never going to hit the ground. They just come to a stop and we pull them back to number one.
Okay, this film was a little ridiculous, I have to say, but I enjoyed it. The amount of effort and the time and just thought that went into a sequence like this, because the rest of the movie is pretty freaking ridiculous as well. Even Fast 9 now, but to see what goes into how to make these films is incredible. Like, I hope they continue making them. I know there's supposed to be, or at least I heard there's supposed to be a 10 and 11, so I'm excited to see how ridiculous they can get with these and to see how they make them. So keep coming out with the Fast movies.
In this scene from Mission Impossible Fallout, Ethan Hunt jumps 25,000 feet out of a plane before landing in Paris. A risky move like this would normally require a stunt double, but that's actually Tom Cruise, and that background behind him is not a green screen.
The dude actually jumped 25,000 feet out of a plane for a movie. Wild.
At more than 2,700 feet, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai is the world's tallest building, so it was only a matter of time before Cruise decided to climb it. For this stunt, the actor had to climb 1,700 feet in the air.
All right. So I get jumping out of planes, having parachutes and all that, but being harnessed on the side of a building, what if something goes wrong? What if something goes wrong? Like, look how high he is. That's not green screen to the right or the left. That's like, he's actually there. They're actually filming this. It is wild.
So he had to wear a special harness attached to strategic points in the building.
Like, look at this. He's on the side of this building. They're looking straight up. A helicopter is right next to him.
To do this, the crew needed to break 26 different windows. With permission, of course. This harness was so tight, Cruise said it cut off his circulation. The 65mm IMAX cameras...
Bro, what the Ooh, the dude swings. He's like 15 feet away from the building, 1,700 feet up, 15 feet off the building. This dude has some balls.
An additional helicopter shooting the scene only had a limited amount of time to record, so they had to move fast. But Cruise wasn't just climbing the building. He also had to fall 4 stories and run down the surface of the building in a move known as an Australian rappel.
That is just wild to me. All right, 1917 has to be one of my favorite films of all time. I've watched so many BTS, so many interviews with Roger Deakins on how they filmed it, and just the filming process alone is incredible. The coordination, the long takes, 9-minute takes. I think the longest was like 16 minutes or something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it was something incredible like that. Let's see some of the VFX. That's wild. This right here is wild. Like, in the film, because it seems like a one take, it literally just sucks you in. And realizing how many takes and how many shots that they had to get to be able to stitch it all together to make it look seamless and continuous is just mind-blowing to me. Like, what? What? Like, look at that. Look at the before and after right here. They're literally in a water park and they make it look like they're in the middle of nowhere. It's just nuts what is capable when you have the budget for amazing visual effects. It's kind of mind-blowing on how seamless it is. Like, you can't tell in the movie there's any cuts right there. None. And it's literally 2 shots stitched together, made to look like one. I want to get to this level. That's my goal. I want to get to this level of filmmaking one day and be a part of a film that is this dynamic in how it's going to tell its story. Kind of wild. 91% of the film is CGI, and I get it, because how are you gonna have rats running all over the place? How are you gonna have dead horses? How are you gonna have these carcasses and everything? I understand you can do a lot of practical, like dead bodies and stuff, but there's a lot in this film. There's a lot. So, like, I get it.
Manipulate gravity. It's been done on various films. Most notably.
Look at this. Look at this right now. We haven't even started watching the BTS of the actual scene inside of this. There is a rotating hotel hallway right here in this big just contraption thing that is spinning. Already mind blown.
And I like the idea of repurposing that technology and really trying to choreograph an entire fight sequence.
If you think about it, it's kind of dangerous. Like, putting actors in something that's spinning like this could be pretty dangerous because I think each wall is probably 10 feet. If it's to scale and they don't make the proper move, they can fall 10 feet and really hurt themselves.
All the equipment had to be locked into the set. It either had to rotate with it if it made sense, or the set would rotate out of the light. So it did require a lot of planning.
Damn, that's sick. They used 2 different cameras, one locked in steady on the set, and then one in a crane. Makes sense to get all the angles.
If you lock the camera on the ground, the audience doesn't see the room spinning. The audience just sees us moving all over the place. It looks like we're jumping on the ceiling and stuff. In order to actually get it done, I couldn't think of it that way. I had to think of it as, this is the ground. Okay, now this is the ground. Okay, now this is the ground.
That is wild. Just that thought process right there of him understanding his movement and thinking each level needs to be the ground.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt had, I think, probably only about 2 weeks rehearsal, and he honestly was fantastic, and he attacked it with such excitement and enthusiasm, and he was determined to do it all himself, and it really, really pays off.
Considering they said he only had 2 weeks of prep for this dude did an incredible job of preparation, because there's a lot of factors with this spinning that could have gone wrong and could have got him hurt. So kudos to you, bro.
So many action movies now, and it's all done on computers later. Whereas these scenes that we did, it was so well thought out. It's just the things revolving, and it's up to me to keep my balance, and we did the performance, and they shot it, and that's that. I love that. There's no substitute for real human energy and performance. That was the most fun. It's the most challenging and the most fun.
See, this is why I think filmmaking today is incredible. They have the option to digitally recreate anything that they want because of how good visual effects are. And they still realize that capturing it in camera and in real time is more valuable and more authentic than anything. Like, them actually acting through this is just, it says a lot on where filmmaking is and where it's going, because I hope it stays like this, with only visual effects being needed to enhance the scene but not intentionally create an entire scene. You know what I mean? I was gonna find something on Tenet to react to because of how incredible the sequences going forwards and backwards are, but I think I need a little bit more time to find the right video to like actually watch and break down. So I think I'm gonna start making a little bit more of these, because I watch these BTS videos all the time and I feel like I learn a lot from them. Even if it's the most minute detail, I'm gonna continue watching things like this, and I'm gonna continue sharing things like this. I think next week, one of my favorite shows of all time is The Queen's Gambit, and I recently watched this I think it's like a 14-minute breakdown on how they created the storyline, on how it's shot, on how the characters were developed, on the color grading, the lighting, everything about that show. I think is potentially one of the greatest shows of all time, and I would love to share my thoughts on it. So I think I'm gonna make that video next week. I honestly enjoyed sitting down, watching these videos, and making a video right now, and making this video for you guys. So if you guys want more of these, let me know. And let me know what movies you want me to watch. I'm literally down to watch any kind of movie, anytime. That's what I do in my free time, so let me know. I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan, a big Roger Deakins fan, so send the movie recs my way, and I'll get to watching. And until the next video, I'll see you guys then. Peace.
Had enough, then I want